morning of praise and praise worship, Lord. May our lips give you praise, Lord. Anoint our lips, anoint our eyes, Lord. Make us worthy, Lord. Forgive us, Lord, for our unworthiness, O Lord. Cleanse us, Lord. Make us worthy to carry thy word, to hear thy word this morning, O Lord. Make us worthy to share your word. Make us worthy as your child, O Lord, in these last days. Make us a vessel of your light, a vessel of your glory. Hallelujah. Touch each and everyone's hearts right now, Lord. Hallelujah.
Faithful, you're my God. You're the glory and the treasure of my
Hallelujah. We bless you, Lord. Everybody say, we bless you, Lord. Everybody say, we love you, Lord. Bless us, Lord. Make us worthy, Lord. If you can sing it with all your heart, if you can sing, talk to God with all your heart right now.
The only one for me, and nothing will ever take
Nothing will ever take your place, O Lord. Convict us every day of our lives, even as we call on thee every night of our Hallelujah. Give him a praise offering right now. Everyone shout to the Lord. Give him a praise offering right now. That is the reason we live. That is the reason you exist. Hallelujah. I request everyone to get seated. Please lower my echo so it will be recorded. Brother Magellan, is it recording right now? Okay, open our Bibles to Zechariah chapter 12. I request every young people to be parents or elders sit beside them. And whenever I ask for scripture, you ask it from them. Whenever I share some facts, you question them. Okay? So, don't leave anyone behind. So, our subject remind me if 30 minutes will be over. I'm gonna split this Tagalog 30 minutes, English 30 minutes. Open your Bibles right now, Zechariah chapter 12. So, let's read verse by verse. Now, recently, President Trump declared his recognition for Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And what was the after effect? What was the after effect? There were protests against that declaration. So the Arabs, the Palestinians, and many other Middle Eastern Muslim countries, they want to go against this declaration. And they talk with each other how to resolve that crisis. The crisis is people will rise up against Israel and the United States. In the news, they have been called Satan already. Remember, before it was just Saddam Hussein who said United States is Satan. It was only Iran. But right now, Turkey joined the fray. Everyone joined the fray. And remember, Turkey, Libya, and many other states will be part of the war in Ezekiel 38-39. We're not going to discuss that, but you should write it down in your notes. So look at your adopted son if they are writing it down. Then, require it of them at home. So, ask them to research at home. What is Ezekiel 38-39 all about? How many of you do not want to be left behind? Amen. Raise your hands. Only a few. Raise it, don't put it down. Continuously. Only a few. Look around you. How many did not raise their hands? You have to share to them. How many of you do not want to be left behind in the rapture, in the catching away? So, look around you. Share to those who have not raised their hands. But, in order for you to be part of those that will be called away, you should hunger for God's revelation. That includes the kingdom of Israel. In the millennium, in the tribulation, and today. And prophetically, the history. You should know. Don't waste your time on so many diversions to the point that you forgot about God. God is speaking to you through prophecy. He is not speaking with an audible voice supernaturally. He is speaking through the scriptures. He is also speaking through the expositors of the scriptures. Exegetes. So, we are in Zechariah 12. I'm going to ask the microphone to be passed along. I want each one to read scripture by scripture. I'm going to give the event. Let's start from Zechariah chapter 12. That is our present time today. So, Brother Patrick, you begin. Then, you move along many favorites. Brother Rob, Brother Allen, Brother Dave, Brother Gerald, Janelle, Giant Joy, and okay, many others. Okay, start, Brother Patrick. Stand up and read the first verse. Everyone, use your Bible, teach your adopted son beside you to look up the scripture. Point it out to you. Ask them to point it out to you. Oh, Brother Jim, under the pastorhood of Brother Allen. Okay. Tell them to point out the scripture to you. Tell them to open the scriptures and point it out to you. Okay, start. Verse 1.
Zechariah 12, verse 1.
Okay,
The
go.
burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, said the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens and laid the foundation of the earth, earth, and forming the spirit of man within him.
Verse 2. When I tell you to stop,
Verse 2.
look for the next reading.
Behold, I will make Jerusalem cup of trembling unto all the people around about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem.
By the way, if you are gonna Facebook Live, please broadcast from Progressive Revelation Ministry in English and watch. Okay, so you look for the next reader. Here in verse 2, we have Jerusalem as a cup of trembling. Let me draw a cup. The familiar cup, you know. So, of course, we are familiar with coffee. We're addicted to coffee. So, if it's hot and you are trembling, what will happen to the contents? The hot contents will spill out. Jerusalem is like a cup of trembling. So, the allusion is holding the cup while you're shaking your hands. And of course, whatever its contents will be spilled out, and it will give some nervousness to those holding it and to those around it. A burdensome stone. We're verse 2, right? Go back to verse 2. Verse 2. A cup of trembling unto all the people round about. Who is surrounding Jerusalem today? The old ancient people of the Philistines, today called as Palestinians. Not just the Palestinians or the Philistines, but even surrounding nations, as far as Iran, Iraq, as far as Jordan. Of course, Jordan is just beside them. Turkey, it's not even beside them. There's even Egypt. When they shall be in the siege, what is a siege? There is warfare. We're going to read that in chapter 14. Okay, please read verse 13. Brother Patrick, you should go around so the microphone will find its next reader. Okay, verse 13.
Verse 13. The family of the house of Levi apart, and
Chapter
there
12,
was
verse 13, Brother Ram. Continue. Chapter 12, verse 3. Sorry. I am the one who is mistaken. Chapter 12, verse 3.
And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it.
Burden. So look for the next reader. The next reader should be okay. When you say burdensome stone, all that burden themselves to it, every nation that concerns itself to Israel. Now, what is wrong? What is right in the eyes of the world? There should be no protest, please everybody. But the Spirit of the Lord is Israel will be the seat of His government in the millennium. And one day Israel will be exalted, Israel will be vindicated, and God will reveal Himself to Israel through His Son Jesus Christ, the Messiah. So right now Israel is in apostasy because they are political. They're after a political solution. Yes, they want the blessings of God, but they do not see how it will be fulfilled. So they will accept another peacemaker. Their war could not be avoided. The world would not understand that. Just as you would not understand why you have to chastise your child. Why do we need to have some offensive rod for our child? Why do we need to use up their vacant time? Why do we need to bring them to evangelization, to set them up? Why do we need to ask them to research this and report it for us? The same thing. Why do you have to declare Jerusalem as the capital? You're causing trouble. Make everybody happy. Let's make an agreement, a peace agreement. The ways of the world are not the ways of God. And it's not true, Vox Populi, Vox Dei. What is Vox Populi, Vox Dei? Brother Alan. Brother Patrick. Brother Radioloyalty. What is Vox Populi, Vox Dei? Brother Jose. Brother Magellan, shout it out. Brother Allen, you've been studying in school. What is Vox Populi, Vox Dei? My goodness. Okay. This is even taught in schools. Vox Populi, voice of the people. Vox Dei is the voice of God. Even Joseph Estrada fought this when he became president. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Even the Catholics support that. But biblically, it does not necessarily follow so. The will of God does not necessarily it's the will of the people. So whenever there's a minister that tells you, oh, it's against God that someone teach you to go against your will. If your will is no assert authority, you should be the one to be followed, not the person teaching you that. So, the will of the people, that's Laodicea. That's people's right. Now, those that burden themselves with Israel are those that want a political solution. Not necessarily looking for the second coming of Christ, establishing the millennium on earth. They don't look for prophecy. Prophecy declares there will be war. The kingdom of this world is not of Him. It will be taken away. So this, at the time of the tribulation, this kind of message will be radical. This will be declared rebellious. This will be called declared terroristic. But right now, we are not yet affected. But at the future, the tribulation period, they will. Let's move to verse 4. Lord Gerald, could you find another microphone? Okay, start reading. Let me see if your voice is good.
Verse 4. In that day, said the Lord, I will smite every house with astonishment, and his rider with madness. I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and I will smite every house of the people with blindness.
That house are other nations. Horse, you said house. Horse. Horse represents battle. That represents battle transport in that time. It represents a tank or armored personnel. Astonishment. His rider with sadness, madness. I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah and smite every horse of people with next blindness. So did you know in the 6-day war? How many of you knows the 6-day war? Raise your hands. 1, 2. Okay, write it down. You have to write it down. Look at your they're writing it down. How about Yom Kippur War? How many knows it? Raise your hands. 2 again. Write it down. Ask about it. Search it in the internet. Don't waste your time on other things. By the way, if you're a parent, don't waste the time of your child being corrupted by others. You're not going to occupy their mind. Their mind will be occupied by others. There's someone always wanting to occupy with other things. So, did you know during the 6-day war and the Yom Kippur War, Israel won, and the enemy was rendered blind because their radars. There was radar in 1972. Was taken up by the Israeli Air Force. So, in the 6-day war, it was a supernatural blindness. There were angels that helped the Israeli army. There was another war when they declared independence, May 1948. The issue was not even Jerusalem. The issue was their independence. Suddenly, they were attacked by the nation surrounding Israel, surrounding them, And they were saved supernaturally by angels. Verse 5, please read. Microphone. Please look for, ask your child for their scripture. Sister Lisa. Ask for the scripture. Point it out to you. Ask for the scripture. Point it out to you.
Inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts their God.
Get another microphone. Because that microphone is flip. Okay. Sister Lisa, could you get that microphone? Give it to them. So the governors of Judah shall say their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of their God. Next verse. The governor of Judah actually is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the capital of Judah. Even before Israel, the 10 northern tribes separated, Jerusalem remained the capital of Judah. Okay. So next verse. Could you read? Let's read all at the same time. Verse 6, while the microphone is not in the level. In that day, everyone, in that day will I make the governors of Judah like an earth of fire among the wood, like a torch of fire in the sheep. They shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited, everyone in their own place, even in Jerusalem. Let's change the drawing. What is an earth of fire? Can everyone tell me in Tagalog? Earth. It's a silent H for earth of fire. Earth of fire. So what am I drawing? Can everyone tell me? What is this? Huh? What did you say? Bricks? This is not bricks. What do you call this? Bonfire. Who said that? Brother Patrick? Brother Patrick has revelation. He knows English more than you all. You should start be like Patrick. Learn English. Start speaking English, okay? Bonfire. The hearth of fire is this. And in the example, if there are hay beside it, the fire will spread. The fire will spread. That from Jerusalem, it will be like a hearth of fire spreading to all nations. What is spreading? A fire of conflict. The fire of conflict will spread. And you know, believers, saints, if you are in your heart aspiring to be caught away, you should hunger to know why. You should hunger to know this. Don't spend your time on telenovelas. Even if others are opening the television, if you own it, use it for God. Amen. Even if the other preachers of other big time messages there are shallow, at least use it. And there are many videos in YouTube that talks about this. Amen. You should make use every day that you have. The hearth of our, this is even discussed by other preachers. We're that far behind. I'm talking about each and every one of you. We as ministers, and I'm calling about not just myself, but even other ministers here, you have a responsibility to remind them what they should be doing at home. At least once a week. Rotate each one of you. Learn why will it spread? Why there is that conflict in the Middle East? Why? That should be your ticket. But if you couldn't care less, you'll be left behind. Your household will be left behind. Bring this one. Raise this. Could you open down the sound of this, the volume of this microphone? Hello. represents the conflict starting from Jerusalem. Let's read the next verse. Who has the microphone now? Sister Jay. Jay and Joey.
No. 7. The Lord also shall save the dead of Judah first. Let the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
God will save Judah first. Now, who was first to be taken captive? Sister Jaya. Who was first taken captive? The 10 northern tribes or the 2 southern tribes? Just take a guess. The 10? Okay. Nice guess. The 10 was taken first. Who was the last to be taken into captivity? Sister Jaya Joy. Lukewarm version of Nicolaitans version. We have a lukewarm version here. At least we should be polite and not debating others. Okay. So take a guess. Who was the last to be taken into captivity? Just take a guess. The 10 northern tribes or the 2 southern tribes? 2 southern tribes. That's common sense. I'm testing your common sense. If you already said the 10 was taken first, then the last 2 was taken last. Who studied in school the first in, first out, last in, first out, like that? Only Brother Alan knows that. Okay. Judah was the last to be taken captive. But Judah was the first one to return in their land. You know, they returned earlier than today. Judah returned during the time of the Persian Empire. Judah was taken captivity during the Babylonian Empire. Write this down and study it at home. Don't just write this down or report it. Study it at home because I'm not giving everything here. My time is too limited. Judah was taken to captivity by Babylon. Israel, the 10 northern tribes, was taken to captivity by Assyria. So during the Persian Empire, Cyrus the Great allowed the Jewish people, that's where we get the word Jew. Yahuda. It's Jew, Jewish. It comes from Judah. Even the name Judas is also Judah. The S only comes from the Greek. Cyrus the Great allowed the captives to return to their own land. So Judah was there until the time of Christ, until they were scattered again by the Roman Empire. Write this down. And after the Roman Empire, not just 1948, the Zionist movement brought back the people. And there are several prophecies in the Old Testament that Israel will come back from the other lands from where they were dispersed into their own land. And who was the first to go back? Judah, the Jews. The Jews were prominent because they were annihilated by Hitler. But even before that, they were persecuted in the country they were in. So I have to study that, learn about that. What concern does it have for us? Because you are a spiritual Jew. You're supposed to be a spiritual Jew. You're taken out, you'll be regathered, you'll be restored back in the word, the land. Okay. Now, Judah will be used by God as the core group. Do you understand? How many of you understand the word core group I used this before when we should be manifesting our judge counseling ministry. How many understands core group? I use it for core grata. What do you mean? Raise your hands if you understand the core group. Only 1, 2, 3. Okay. A core group means you will be the first to lead others within the church. And there were others that there were detractors before that said, I'm creating a church within a church. How many of you heard that before? But biblically, there should be those who will be firstborn in the church. That's why we have the word firstborn of Jesus Christ. Israel, the firstborn. In the church, we need firstborns to lead others. I hope you see your ministry. I hope you see your place. We are here, whether you are firstborn or the secondborn, everyone should be led to something. Judah will lead in that restoration. Judah will lead in that battle. After Judah, then came the other tribes to Israel. Let's read verse 7. Verse 8. Move on, Brother Dave. Sister Jay will be the reporter.
Zechariah 8, Zechariah 7.
Everyone, could you adopt Brother RJ? No one's adopting him.
No.
Adopt the child beside you. Open up the Bible. Ask them to show them the scriptures. You know, we're being pulled back. We're being delayed in our progress because you should help out. I hope there are some deacons, ministers that will move around and tell others to ask their child to point out the scripture to them. Okay, start. Go. Tell RJ to show them by the book. Why should I be the one? I hope other ministers will tell them. No microphone. The other microphone. Everyone read alongside with me. Brother Dave, remain standing. In that day, the Lord defend Jerusalem of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them in that day, all at the same time. He that is feeble among them, that day shall be as David. Everyone at the same time. And the house of David. Everyone read. House of David shall be as God, and the angel of the Lord as the angel of the Lord before them. There's another word. Okay. Do you understand what was being said? The feeble. What is feeble? The weak. The weakest in them will be as strong as David. You know David. He was a mighty warrior. The weakest of them was strong as David. And the governors of Judah, the strongest of them shall be as God. The house of David. Those are the governors of Judah. It means say, no matter how the world says, they will push in their hearts to fulfill God's plan. You know, political Israel, within their hearts, there is an anointing to fulfill prophecy. Not prophecy. They may not understand prophecy. But within their hearts, they know they must fulfill, they must reclaim the land as God has given them. And if God gave them the land, then they should claim it as instructed by God. And if in their political heart, of course, it's sinning against God. If they compromise to the enemy, they're sinning against God. And we can look at ourselves the same way. If we compromise, do you know that you compromise every day to the enemy? Have you realized sometimes, and most of the time, you compromise yourself to the enemy? How? How do I compromise? You do not assert their time. You allow them to watch foods offered to idols, to eat foods offered to idols. In their vacant time, let's say, you allow them to study again. But you do not try to balance it at home, at least try to strive to catch up spiritually. Then you are corrupting your child. What you're after is a worldly career for your children. Never realizing they're expect who will be their LCM. It's a serpent. We're compromisers. We, instead of going to fellowship, should go to Jollibee as a substitute. So we should use our birthdays use our birthdays to contract young people to lead the fellowship. They have free time. We compromise with them. We do not want to offend our children. We do not want to chastise our children. You allow them to watch worldly things. You give them free time so that they will be... History repeats itself. The same thing with Israel. They have been stubborn. And God has chastised them too. They have suffered in the countries that they live. Even right now in Israel, they're suffering as they compromise with the enemy. But there will be a heart in them like the heart of David, the heart of God. He will not compromise. And this leads to war. Let's read the next verse. Verse 9. Is the microphone still not working, right? The microphone. And it shall come to pass in that day, everyone read alongside with me. At least every one of you start to learn English, even if you're old. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. That's the whole earth that wants peace. But they don't understand where true peace comes from. Next verse, 9, verse 10. How many verses? Zechariah 12. Zechariah 12 have? 14 verses. Okay, read alongside with me. And I will pour upon the house of David, upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the spirit of grace and supplication. And they shall look upon him whom they have pierced. They shall mourn for me. For him as one mourneth. Continue. As one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. Remember, it happened in Egypt. They mourned for their firstborn because God killed their firstborn. Who pierced Jesus Christ? Did you pierce Jesus Christ? How did you pierce Jesus Christ? Hebrews chapter 12. You did not continue in progressive revelation. We are in this church, we're continuing. No, not just because you are here, you're listening to me, you're progressive. Being progressive means at home you are Berean. It's every day of your life, not just here. Actually, when you're just listening to me, it's incomplete. You have to listen to others. You have to prove all things. You have to have the emotional time at home. Parents, do you talk to your children about this? Every day, not just once a week. Whose family did I hear it's just once a week? Oh, we already did it. That week's already vacation. Which family was that here? So, Sister Shirley's family. So, you should reckon each other. Every day of your life should be a fellowship at home. Every night, it should be a feasting to the Word. If you're out on work, command them to join other families. That's what communion is. That's how Passover was done during the time of Moses. Command them to join other families or help other families. You will mourn. You will mourn for your child. Will you mourn for your child if they find unbelievers for their LCM? Will you mourn? Or it's alright for you? That's part of life. Wake up! We are, even denominational Nicolaitan churches are more ascetic. Of course, they're Nicolaitan, they're stringent. Their followers marry only believers of what they understand to be believers. But most of our children that have grown up, I've seen several generations pass through here, are unbelievers. So of course there are a few that was salvaged from the fire. Understand the word salvage and salvation. It's not salvage thrown into the river. it's an connotation. So, most of the young people I've seen from 1998, several generations, they've gone to the unbelievers. You know that history. Most of you know that history. But what are you doing about it? You're not yet afraid? Every day, the world grows wicked and wicked by the hour. Even young people here can corrupt others. They can encourage your young people to hunger unbelievers. They're not teaching even young thoughts like Brother Owa. We're not talking of LCM, we're talking of corruption. If you are not offensive, he can easily be corrupted by other children here. They run around. They've had fist fights. Of course, it's fun for them, but the problem is, the heart is changing from the interest in the Bible is changing to they're getting bored with the scriptures already. So, when we read Zechariah chapter 12 verse 10, think of your family. Because God is warning those against Israel. Even Israel. How many minutes have I taken up? How many minutes? In verse 11, great morning in Megiddo, that's Armageddon. That is the valley of Megiddo. How many minutes?
42.
42? 42? Okay, don't stop. Don't stop. I'm going to summarize certain things. Maybe some of the preachers could tackle Hanukkah against Christmas. What are you doing this Christmas? Maybe you will go to your relatives and let your children be corrupted again. Make some plans so that your child will have something to do. What is Hanukkah? It's taking down the decorations of the pagans. You have decorations of the pagans in your heart. What are the things of omission, the things you omit to do? What are the things you can do? Okay? And how does this relate to that? I'm going to summarize it. Then we can just start writing your questions in Tagalog. In the last week of Daniel, the cup of trembling will get worse and worse. And there will be war. It will be exactly World War III. And you read, just write it down. Zechariah chapter 14. It's World War III. Okay? What is, from Zechariah chapter 12 to chapter 14, what happens? It enters into the tribulation period. Okay? So, and Hanukkah, Christmas, will figure in a prophetic cleansing of the temple in the last week of Daniel. Okay, I'm going to end right now. We can begin our Tagalog question answers. Well, Magellan, you can stop the English.